Hey, everybody. Thank you, President Harris, Grinnell College faculty and trustees, for this tremendous honor. Congratulations, Grinnell College Class of 2024, for persevering through the many papers, exams, and labs that got you to this moment. And to all the family and friends who have supported the graduates along the way, and myself included, thank you. Today, I want to invite you to reflect on identity, both the identities that you carry and the identities that you cultivate. I'm being honored because of the reading advocacy and the impact of my nonprofit. But long before barbershop books began inspiring Black boys to read in barbershops, two identities that I've carried since birth were already shaping my path. I was born the son of an elementary school teacher and the son of a barber. My mom taught in the Little Rock School District in Arkansas for more than 30 years, and my dad was a barber for most of his life. Since graduating from Grinnell College in 2007, Grinnellian has been more than an identity that I've carried. It has been an identity that I have actively and literally cultivated. As a New York City kindergarten teacher, our class name and mascot was the Grinnell Squirrels. And much like Grinnell, I endeavored to inspire my students to not just read and learn, but to more importantly, to identify as learners. My classroom had a $1 million word wall. And whenever we would encounter interesting, juicy words, we would stop everything in the class, we would go to the classroom rug, and we would draw the words in the air, we would act them out, and then I would write the word on an index card, and I would hold it like it was the most precious thing in the world. And, students would raise their hand to volunteer to go put it on our $1 million word wall, and something interesting started to happen. Students started to come into the classroom and say, "Psst, psst, Mr. Irby, I got $1 million word." And I would say, "Okay, well, whisper it in my ear." And they would tell me, and then I would say, "That's 600,000, that's 600,000. And they would get mad. They're like, "Oh, I'm going to get a word on the $1 million word." But I would say, "Where did you hear that word?" "Oh, on the news, on the radio. I heard it at the park." I learned very quickly that no matter how good I was as a teacher, if my students didn't read and learn outside of school, they would be ill-equipped to combat the inequities and misinformation that characterize life in the 21st century. America and the world face countless threats from well-educated people using their intellect, power, and privilege to maim, murder, manipulate, divide, oppress, and exploit. More than $250 billion is spent annually on advertising in the United States alone. So there's no shortage of interests that stand ready to tell you who you should be and what you should care about. What are you going to do with the privileges, power, and opportunities that a Grinnell education affords you? Today, I challenge you not simply to carry your Grinnellian status like a badge, but embrace it as a utility belt. Use what you've learned and the experiences that you've had here to pursue your passions with humility. Embrace your global citizenship and unapologetically champion dignity for those who are marginalized and neglected by society. As you encounter people who have interacted with Grinnell students and alumni, you'll discover that our liberal arts education is revered. During the summer after my freshman year at Grinnell, I was a camp counselor at a science program for kids that was organized by the University of Arkansas for Medical Sciences. While on a lunch break one day, I sat down at a table with two random strangers who just happened to be rocket scientists from NASA. Y'all can probably guess the first question that I had for these two rocket scientists. I asked, like NASA? Yes, that NASA, they replied. We spoke briefly about the nanotechnology conference that brought them to my hometown of Little Rock. And then I mentioned that I was a student at Grinnell College, to which they both replied in unison, "You must be smart." Be emboldened with the knowledge that Grinnell alum have blazed trails of innovation, scholarship, and excellence. But most importantly, we have deployed our world-class education to make the world a better place. And that is my challenge and my dream for you, Grinnell Class of 2024. Thank you.